Hello, welcome back to another episode of MTG Paper Deck Techs. Today I am going to be showing you a deck tech on Krenko Mob Boss. This deck is my second longest running deck that I've had since I've started playing Magic back in 2017. This deck has been through so many changes and iterations over the years, and this deck is very sentimental due to the fact that my entire play group helped me build this deck. So here we go. Starting off with Krenko Mob Boss. We have a 3/3 legendary creature Goblin Warrior for 2 and 2 red. It has tap, create X/1/1 red goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you control. This is a goblin tribal deck. On the board with goblins and swing out. There are a few combos in the deck, and I will explain those after the deck tip. First up, we have Goblin Lackey, which is a 1/1 goblin for 1 red. Whenever Goblin Lackey successfully deals damage to a player, you may choose a goblin card in your hand and put that goblin into play. Next up, we have Goblin Guide, which is a 2/2 goblin scout for 1 red with haste, and has whenever Goblin Guide attacks, defending player reveals the top card of their library. If it's a land card, that player puts it into their hand. Next up we have Burnout Bastronaut. Burnout Bastronaut. This is from the Aether Drift set, a new goblin. It's a 1/1 for a red Goblin Warrior with menace and start your engines. Pay 2. This creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Max also has max speed. This creature has double strike. So start your engines and max speed are 2 new mechanics from Aether Drift. Start your engines, you start with dealing 1 damage. Each time you deal 1 damage, max speed is 4. When you get to 4, you get the max speed payoff for whatever the creature has. So for this case, this creature will gain double strike when we get max speed. Next up we have Mog Fanatic, which is a 1/1 goblin for 1 red mana. Sacrifice Mog Fanatic. Mog Fanatic deals 1 damage to target creature or player. This is a part of our combo for our win con. Next up we have Skirk Prospector. A 1/1 goblin for 1 red. Sacrifice a goblin, add red to our mana pool. We have Torch Courier. Which is a 1/1 goblin for 1 red with haste. Sacrifice Torch Courier, another target creature gains haste until end of turn. Next up we have Goblin Recruiter, which is a 1/1 goblin for 1 in the red. When Goblin Recruiter comes into play, search your library for any number of goblin cards and reveal them to all players. Shuffle your library, then put the revealed cards on top of it in any order. Next up we have Runevelt Horde Master, which is a 1/1 goblin for 2 mana, 1 in the red, Goblin Warrior. It has other goblins you control get +1/+1. Whenever one Horde Master or another goblin you control dies, exile the top card of your library. If it's a goblin creature card, you may cast that card until the end of your next turn. Next up we have Battlecry Goblin. Battlecry Goblin is a 2/2 goblin for 1 and 1 red. Also will pay 1 in the red. Goblins you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. And it has Pack Tactics, which is a mechanic from the D&D set. Whenever Battlecry Goblin attacks, if you attack with creatures with total power 6 or greater this combat, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. Next up we have Conspicuous Snoop. This is a part of the combo. A lot of goblin players do not run this card, and I do not know why. So we have a 2/2 for 2 red goblin rogue creature. Play with the top card of the library reveal. You may cast goblin spells from the top of your library. As long as the top card of your library is a goblin card, Conspicuous Snoop has all activated abilities of that card. Next up we have Warren Instigator. A 1/1 for 2 red, the Goblin Berserker is double strike, and whenever Warren Instigator deals damage to an opponent, you may put a Goblin creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. This is really good with the double strike. So it hits twice, we get to put 2 goblins into play. Next up we have our Goblin Tutor, which is Goblin Matron, which is a 1/1 for 2 in the red. When Goblin Matron enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a Goblin card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Next up we have Howl Squad Heavy, which is another new Goblin from the Aether Drift set. It is a 2/3 for 2 in a red Goblin Mercenary with starter engines. The other goblins you control have haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red Goblin creature token. That token attacks this turn if able. It has max speed, which is tapped at red for each goblin you control. Next up we have Goblin Surveyor, which is another new goblin from Aether Drift. Aether Drift came with a lot of really good goblins. We have a 3/2 Goblin Scout for 2 in the red with trample and start your engines. And it has the start your engine text on here, so I'm going to read it. It says if you have no speed, it starts at 1. It increases once on each of your turns when an opponent loses life. Max speed is 4. And our max speed is pay 3, exile this card from your graveyard, and draw a card. Next up we have Goblin Sharpshooter, one of the goblins we use to win. Goblin Sharpshooter is a 1/1 goblin for 2 in the red. Goblin Sharpshooter doesn't untap during your untap step. Whenever a creature dies, untap Goblin Sharpshooter. Tap Goblin Sharpshooter deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Next up we have Legion War Boss, and we have Goblin Rabblemaster. I'm showing you these at the same time because they practically both do the same thing. Both of them are 2/2 goblins for 2 in the red. They both create tokens at combat. Goblin Rabblemaster makes you attack with each goblin if able, and he himself gets +1/+0 for each other attacking goblin. Legion War Boss has the mentor mechanic, and it will put a +1/+1 counter on the weakest creature on the board, or tied for the weakest creature on the board. And the token it creates also has to attack. Next up we have Goblin War Chief, which is a 2/2 goblin for 1 and 2 red. Goblin spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Goblin creatures you control have haste. Next up we have Goblin Chieftain. Goblin Chieftain is a 2/2 goblin for 1 and 2 red. It also gives haste to our creatures and +1/+1. Next up we have Hobgoblin Bandit Lord, which is a 2/3 goblin rogue for 1 or 2 red. The other goblins you control get +1/+1. Pay a red. Tap. Hobgoblin Bandit Lord deals damage equal to the number of goblins that enter the battlefield under your control to this turn to any target. Next up we have Goblin King, which is a 2/2 goblin for 1 and 2 red. All goblins get +1/+1 and gain Mountain Walk. Mountain rules for Mountain Walk is if your opponent controls a mountain and you attack them, they cannot block your creatures. And I just love this artwork of Goblin King, and Goblin King is probably my favorite goblin. Next up we have Goblin Trash Master. Goblin Trash Master is a 3/3 goblin warrior for 2 and 2 red. Other goblins you control get +1/+1. Sacrifice a goblin, destroy a target artifact. When you're building a tribal deck, you want your creatures to be doing all the work for removal, card advantage, tramp, etc. Next up, we have Grenzo's Rough Fames. For 2 and 2 red, we have a 2/2 goblin with melee, which is whenever this creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. For each opponent you attack with the creature this combat. And it also adds whenever Granzora range deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. Next up we have the Goblin Ringleader, which is a 2/2 goblin for 3 in a red with haste, and it says when Goblin Ringleader enters the battlefield, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all goblin cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Next up we have Volley Veteran. For 3 in a red, we have a 4/2 Goblin Warrior. When Volley Veteran enters the battlefield, it deals damage to target creature an opponent controls equal to the number of goblins you control. Next up we have Kiki Jiki. This is part of our combo. Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker is a 2/2 Goblin Shaman for 2 and 3 red with haste and has tap. Put a token that's a copy of target non-legendary creature you control onto the battlefield. That token has haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. And the last but not least for our creatures, we have the Siege Gang Commander, which is a 2/2 Goblin for 3 and 2 red. When Siege Gang Commander enters the battlefield, create 3 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens. Pay 1 of the red, sacrifice the Goblin, Siege Gang Commander deals 2 damage to any target. Alright, that's it for our creatures. Next up we have our enchantments. First up we have the Goblin Bombardment. For 1 red, we have sacrifice a creature. Goblin Bombardment deals 1 damage to the target creature or player. Next up we have Impact Tremors. For 1 red, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Impact Tremors deals 1 damage to each opponent. Next up we have Blood Moon. This is an enchantment for 2 red, non-basic lands or mountains. Shared Animosity, one of the strongest cards in the deck, and another way we win. 2 red, we have an enchantment that says whenever a creature you control attacks, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each other attacking creature that shares a creature type with it. Next up we have Vandal Blast. Vandal Blast is a sorcery for 1 red, or we can cast it for its overload cost, which is 4 red, and it simply says destroy target artifact you don't control, but if we overload it, we can destroy all artifacts we don't control. Next up we have Krenko's Command and Dragon Fodder. Both of them for 1 red are sorceries that put 2 bodies on the board. Next up we have Hordeling Outburst. Hordeling Outburst puts 3 1/1 Red Goblins creature tokens on the board. Next up we have one of the strongest red draw spells in the game, Jessica's Will. For 2 red, we have a sorcery. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast this spell, you may choose both. Add red for each card in target opponent's hand. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. Next up we have Wheel of Misfortune. Wheel of Misfortune says, each player secretly chooses a number 0 or greater, then all players reveal those numbers simultaneously and determine the highest and lowest numbers revealed this way. Wheel of Misfortune deals damage equal to the highest number to each player who chose that number. Each player who didn't choose the lowest number discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. Next up we have the original Wheel of Fortune. Yes, this is a real Wheel of Fortune. I do not play with proxy cards. For 2 red, we have all players must discard their hands and draw 7 new cards. So we have Boiling Seas for 3 red. It says destroy all islands. Blue decks are a pain for us. So if we can hope to somehow get rid of them, the better it is for us so we can win. Next up we have Empty the Warrens, which is a sorcery for 3 red. Create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, but this card has Storm, which means when you cast this spell, copy it for each spell cast before it this turn. So we can easily, and our goblin spells are cheap. So we cast a bunch of goblins, then cast this card, we'll have a board full of goblins. Next up we have Kindred Charge. For 4 2 red, we have a sorcery that says choose a creature type. Well, obviously we're going to pick goblins. For each creature you control of the chosen type, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Those tokens gain haste. Exile them at the beginning of the next end step. Next up, we have Blasphemous Act, which is the only board wipe we are running in the deck. This is our emergency button, just in case if we need to reset the board. For 8 in the red, it says, this spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Blasphemous Act deals 13 damage to each creature. And that's it for our sorceries. Now we're going on to our instants. First up, we have Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast. Both of them destroy target blue permanents and they counter blue spells. And we have Brightstone Ritual. Brightstone Ritual for 1 red mana is going to add an amount of red mana equal to the number of goblins in play. Next up, we have Thrill of Possibility. Thrill of Possibility for 1 red is an instant that says as an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card, and we draw 2. Battle Hymn. Battle Hymn is for 1 in the red is going to add a red mana for each creature we have in play. Next up, you see a pair of goblins. Choose one. If we charge them, our creatures will get +2/+0 until end of turn. If we befriend them, we'll create 2/1/1 red goblin creature tokens. So it's a situational card. So if we're swinging in for game, we'll choose to charge them. But if we need defense, we will befriend them. And last for the instance is Unexpected Windfall. 2 and 2 red, we have an instant that says as an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card. We draw 2 cards and create 2 treasure tokens. Now for our artifacts. For 1 mana, we have a Wayfarer's Bauble, which is pay 2, sack it to go grab a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tap. We have Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Felwar Stone, Ruby Medallion, and then we have Throne of the God Pharaoh. Throne of the God Pharaoh, it says at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. That's another Sutton win card. Next up, we have Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots. Both of them essentially protect whatever creature we're going to attach these to, and they're going to give our creature haste. So, Lightning Greaves will give it Shroud, while Swiftfoot Boots will give it Hexproof. But with the Swiftfoot Boots, we will have to pay to equip, while with the Lightning Greaves, we do not have to pay for the equip costs. Next up, we have Hazardous Monument. Red creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. Next up, we have Staff of Domination, a combo piece. Pay 1, untap Staff of Domination. Pay 2 and tap it, you gain a life. Pay 3 and tap it, untap target creature. Pay 4 and tap it, tap target creature. Pay 5 and tap it, you draw a card. Next up, we have 1,000-Year Elixir. 1,000-Year Elixir says you may activate abilities of creatures as you control as though those creatures had haste. You can also pay 1 and tap is to untap target creature. Next we have Commander Spear, which taps for rare mana and we crack it to draw a card. And last but not least, Helm of the Host. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of equipped creature, except the token isn't legendary. If equipped creature is legendary, that token gains haste. So what we will do with that is attach Helm of the Host to Krenko, create another copy, and double up our goblins. Now for our lands. We have 37 lands in this deck. And all y'all going to say there's too many, but I do not like missing land drops, so the more lands, the better. Strip Mine, taps are colorless. Mana, or we can use it to get rid of a problematic land. Supply the False Gods, because I do not have an Ancient Tomb. Ghost Quarter, taps for mana, or we can sack it to get rid of another problematic land, but they go search for a basic and replace it with that. Next up, we have War Room. Gonna pay 3 and draw a card. Fable Passage and Prismatic Vista. Both of them will go fetch out our mountains. You have Spinerock Knoll with the Hideaway. And what Hideaway is, when this land enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. Exile one of them face down, then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. Spinerock Knoll enters the battlefield tap. You can tap it for red. You can pay red, tap it. You may play the exile card without paying its mana cost if an opponent was dealt 7 or more damage this turn, which is easy to do in a goblin deck. Next up, we have Ramming Up Ruins, which we can either tap for colorless, or we can tap it, pay 1 life, add red, or we can pay 2 and 2 red, tap it, sacrifice a desert, and Ramming Up Ruins deals 2 damage to each opponent. Well, Ramming Up Ruins is a desert, so we'll be sacking it. We rarely use that. Next up, we have Great Furnace, which is an artifact land that taps for red. I added it because of the artwork. Castle Embereth taps for red, and also we can use it to pump our team. Den of the Bugbear. We can either tap it for red or pay 3 in red, and it'll become a 3/2 Goblin Creature token. With whenever it attacks, create a 1/1 red Goblin Creature token that's tapped and attacking, and it is still a land. And so, next up we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 26 mountains. That's it for the mana base. Now, the way we win with this deck. Alright, so what you're going to do is, there's several ways to win, but I'm just going to show you one on this video. I'll probably do another video on this deck on actually how to play this deck. So, what you're going to do is, you're going to play your Goblin Recruiter, and the tokens that not the tokens, but the creatures you're going to go grab are Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker, Conspicuous Snoop, Torch Courier, Skirk Prospector, and Mob Fanatic. Those are the goblins you're going to grab and put on the top. But the order you're going to place them in, and it does matter because I've messed this up a couple of times. You are going to put Conspicuous Snoop. You're going to put Skirk Prospector, Torch Courier, Kiki Jiki, and Mob Fanatic. So this is the order you're going to go in. Mob Fanatic being the one that's last, and Conspicuous Snoop being first. So Snoop, Prospector, the Courier, Kiki Jiki, and the Fanatic. So you're going to play your Conspicuous Snoop when it gets to your turn. You reveal. You'll get Prospector. You're going to sack the Recruiter that's in play. For red, cast the Skirt. Reveal. If you have another expendable goblin or you have another red source, you're going to use the red source to cast the Torch Courier off the top of your library. Reveal the Kiki Jiki. Sack the Torch Courier to give Snoop haste. And then you're going to do it a million times. Sack 5 of them to cast the Kiki Jiki off the top of your library. And then all of those Snoop tokens will be a copy of Mob Fanatic, and you will sacrifice them all to do 1 damage to everybody. But with there being a million copies, you have enough to win the table. Like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this deck tip. Have a nice one.